Grizzlies fans, welcome home. It's the first time we're having a home game in a very long time. First one since before All-Star break. So there's no one I'd rather have on to talk about the game here at home. Katy Winge on again because the Grizzlies are taking on the Denver Nuggets for the second time this season. Katy, you ready for a good one?
It's always a good one. And particularly in this setting, in this environment. I'm really pumped. I'm back in Denver. I'll be in studio hosting, so I won't be able to feel the atmosphere. And I always love when the Nuggets play in Memphis, especially when the teams are as good as they are this time around. So Grizz fans are in for a good one, I think.
Yes, this is the number 1 team in the West taking on the number 2 team in the West in Memphis, where the Grizzlies, I guess right now they're tied for second for home wins. Like the amount of wins that they've gotten
in percentage. Yeah.
At home. They're 24-5 at home so far this season. I know the Nuggets haven't been like spectacular on the road. They just got over 500. They won their last game, like the first game after All-Star.
Yeah.
On the road in Cleveland. So you've been here, Katy. Does home court advantage mean anything?
I think Memphis is a tough place to play for sure. I do think Denver at this point, I mean, given what you just kind of set up there, Kels, like number 1 team in the West, taking on the number 2 team in the West, everybody kind of heard what Ja had to say about not being scared of any team in the West, which he said it during All-Star. I think no one's ever going to let me live that down. I mean, especially Nuggets fans, especially this Nuggets team. It's always loud. It's always competitive. It's just one of those places where you go into play and you have to play your best in order to get a win. So like you mentioned, the Nuggets really stressing in these last 22 games now of the regular season. We want to sharpen up how we play on the road. We want to make sure that we're playing that same style of basketball that we do at home in the Mile High City, because Denver has been one of the best home teams in the NBA. Everything about their game is better at home. And they've had a ton of home wins this season. So their defense is much better at home than it is on the road. If they can kind of transfer that a little bit, that's really what they're focusing on kind of in this final stretch.
So Katy, you brought up defense, and obviously we're going to talk about offense because Jokic is insane and his numbers are insane. But just while we're talking about defense, I know maybe 2 years ago, maybe even a bit last year, the big thing on the defensive end for the Nuggets specifically was the initial defender, like not getting blown by. What are they doing? Obviously they're getting better and better, the best team in the West. Like what's good about defense this year? Like who's leading it? What's going on the defensive end? Because we've only seen you once. I'm not used to
I know.
Times a year.
I know. So I think the personnel changes that Calvin Booth instated have been massive. You add a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who has just been tremendous in terms of on the ball defense. And even Bruce Brown coming off the bench, and with Jamal Murray kind of being strategic about games that he's playing and games that he's sitting. Bruce Brown's had to start a lot too. So his defensive presence has been really, really good. So adding those like gritty on the ball defenders has allowed everyone to kind of go back to their normal positions too. Like Aaron Gordon was tasked last season with no Jamal, with no MPJ, and obviously no KCP or Bruce Brown yet. He was tasked with guarding some of the best guards in the NBA. And can he do it? Yeah. But is that what he truly thrives at? Is he best in those situations? No. But the Nuggets didn't really have anybody else that they felt comfortable putting on guys at that point. So allowing Aaron Gordon to kind of shift back and guard his true position, that has helped Denver's defense a lot. And then the Nuggets this season have put a lot of emphasis on like that lone man. So the person that covers up, that's furthest away from the ball, first help side rotation. So if they do get beat off of the ball, that person is there early. They're communicating the whole time. They show up for their teammates. They're like trying to take charges, trying to contest. And then kind of the rotation off of that has been much better too. So I think focusing in on those types of things. And then this seems simple, Kels, but like just putting in multiple efforts on that side of the ball. I think when you have an offense that's as good as Denver's offense is, sometimes you get bored like with success, and that typically happens on the defensive side of the ball where you're like, okay, I love the offense is so great. We can figure it out. It's so much fun to play on that end. We don't really have to defend. But now they're recognizing, okay, we find our like the most success when we play on both ends of the floor.
Yeah. And the success that they found, like I said, this is the best team in the West right now. So whatever they're doing, it is clicking. A big part of it. Actually, before I move on to Jokic, Is Aaron Gordon playing tonight? Do we have an update?
No, he's out. Him and Zeke Naji are both out. Yeah, he's still nursing that rib injury back.
Okay, and for Grizz fans, Steven Adams is out along with a couple guys who have been transferred over to the G League, but everyone else other than Steven is in tonight. Let's talk about Jokic, because we cannot do this without talking about the two superstars that are Jokic and Ja. Jokic coming off his 22nd triple-double of the season against the Cavs with unreal numbers, 24, 18, and 13. Like, okay. The last time he played the Grizzlies, he had 13, 13, and 13. Like, just like, how?
You know what's funny is the added stat with the 22 triple doubles is that the Nuggets are 22-0 when he gets a triple double. Like, they have not lost.
Oh, wow.
When Nikola Jokic gets a triple double. So clearly that is a recipe for success for Denver, is getting Jokic involved in a variety of different ways. It's I feel weird saying this because he's so good, but like that game in Cleveland, like wasn't really even one of his best games. And he had 20, like you said, like 23, 18 and some, yeah, like just another ridiculous triple double. He's had 98 in his career now. And so we're approaching 100. And I think what has been most fun about watching him is if you're going to play him one-on-one, good luck. But then on the other side of it, okay, if you're going to send a double team to help, now you have a healthy Nuggets roster. So you have KCP, who's shooting one of the best 3-point percentages in the entire NBA. Michael Porter Jr., who is just a bucket in so many different ways. Jamal Murray, good luck. And oftentimes, I know he's not playing tonight, or Aaron Gordon, who's in that dunker spot, who's just going to dunk on your head. So like, pick your poison, right? Like, are you going to match up with him and play him one-on-one and just kind of take that bet and see if you can hold your own against Joker? Or are you going to send a double team and have everybody else around you then beat you? It's like impossible to think about defending. There's no clear-cut way to do that or to slow down the Nuggets.
There's no one that you want to leave open. Like, a lot of time it's like, leave the big open or leave a 3-point shooter open. But when you're having those type of guys surrounding him, I mean, like I said, there's a reason they're first in the West, and that is a chunk of it. Very lastly, Katie, we got to talk about John Morant a little bit, because he's also been on a tear coming off of All-Star weekend. Well, the whole season, but we're coming off of All-Star weekend now. From the outside, like, I could talk about him and I could say how great he is from the outside. Looking at approaching a game where you're also starting to think about how to slow down a superstar, because we don't stop Jokic, we don't stop Ja. What's the outside perspective of slowing down the Grizzlies?
So I think the last meeting between these two teams really went in Denver's favor. I think Ja had 35 or some big number. And no other Grizzly, and I know you guys weren't totally healthy, but no other Grizzly player had over 12 points.
Yeah, I think Dylan Brooks was the other starter. He had 11.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what the game plan, I think, will be initially going into this matchup of like, okay, Ja's going to find his, but like, who around him is going to beat us? And can we lock down those players? Because like you said, can't slow Ja down. You can try and make his night really tough, give him a bunch of different looks, make sure he's on his toes and doesn't get comfortable. But there's like, you just know, like, a superstar like that is going to find a way to contribute and get his. If you can limit the way that he runs in transition, if you can limit if you can take care of the basketball and not allow Memphis to get out and run, I think you're going to set yourself up for a little bit more success that way too. But there's no way around it. Like, he's the most electric young player to watch, at least in my opinion, in the NBA right now. Like, he is what makes this Grizz team go. He embodies the attitude and the identity that this team has. And it's been so fun to watch. Like, if you think about it too, we have one of the best superstars in Nikola Jokic. You guys have one of the best superstars in John Morant, but think about how different they are and how there's a space for both of them to succeed and thrive and put on a show in their own respective ways in this league. Yeah. It's so cool. Like, the NBA is at such a cool place. And these two teams who, let's be honest, what they do have in common is they don't get the respect that they deserve. And the mid-major market, or whatever you want to call it, like, both of these teams are hungry to prove people wrong. And you can feel it in the way that they both play.
No, I literally, Katie, stop. I have goosebumps. I want to just like run that portion back twice. Listen
on repeat.
Yeah, just if you're watching this, just go like that, listen to it again, because I couldn't say it better myself. Katie, I could sit and pick your brain literally all day long. I think I tell you that every time we talk. Thank you for your time.
Of course, so fun to catch up.